Imagine for a moment, a world on the brink of a third global conflict. Could it be a reality, or is it merely a figment of our collective fear? Our history is marred by the scars of two world wars, conflicts that shook the very foundation of humanity and changed the course of our civilization. The first was the product of intricate alliances and intense nationalism, while the second was a fight against totalitarian regimes. These wars were the result of a complex web of political, economic, and social factors, a web that we still grapple with today. Since the end of the Second World War, the world has seen a seismic shift in the geopolitical landscape. The rise and fall of superpowers, the emergence of new nations, and the redrawing of borders have all played a part in shaping our current global environment. The Cold War era brought with it an uneasy peace, marked by proxy conflicts and a nuclear arms race. In the backdrop of these changes, we've seen the United Nations rise as a beacon of diplomacy and peacekeeping, the European Union form as a symbol of continental unity, and the rise of the East with powers like China and India taking center stage. All the while, the United States has maintained its position as a global superpower, navigating these changes with a mix of diplomacy, military might, and economic influence. But as we stand today, we find ourselves in a world that is more connected, yet more divided than ever. A world where economic disparities are growing, where climate change is an existential threat, and where regional conflicts could spark a larger global confrontation. In this climate of uncertainty, one question looms large: which country could start the Third World War? As we turn this question over in our minds, we must remember that the world of international politics is a chessboard, where each move can have far-reaching consequences. As we delve further into this topic, we must remember that this is a question of possibilities, not certainties. To understand if a Third World War could erupt, we must first analyze the current geopolitical landscape. It's a complex tableau of shifting alliances, rising tensions, and potential flashpoints, where major powers like the United States, China, and Russia command significant influence. Let's start with the United States. The US remains a global superpower, but it's grappling with political polarization at home and wavering allies abroad. Its relationships with countries like North Korea and Iran are fraught with tension, and its ongoing trade war with China adds another layer of complexity to the global scenario. Now let's turn our gaze to China. A rising star on the global stage, it's extending its influence through initiatives like the Belt and Road. However, its assertive stance in the South China Sea and strained relations with Taiwan are potential flashpoints that could ignite conflict. Russia, on the other hand, continues to exert its influence in Eastern Europe and the Middle East. Its annexation of Crimea and involvement in Syria highlight its willingness to use force to achieve its goals. The ongoing tensions with NATO countries, especially over issues like cyber warfare, cannot be overlooked. But the geopolitical chessboard isn't just about these three nations. Rising powers like India and Brazil are reshaping the global dynamics. India, with its booming economy and strategic location, is playing an ever-important role in Asia. Brazil, despite its domestic issues, is a key player in South America with an increasing global footprint. What's more, we can't ignore the alliances that these nations are part of. From NATO to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, these alliances could either serve to de-escalate tensions or, in the worst-case scenario, draw more countries into a potential conflict. The world has become a stage where nations play their strategic games, constantly maneuvering for power and influence. And while war is never a foregone conclusion, understanding these geopolitical dynamics is crucial in assessing the possibilities of a Third World War. The economy has always been a significant factor in the advent of wars. Let us now explore how the current global economic situation could influence a potential conflict. In the world of finance and economy, predictions can sometimes be as outrageous as they are insightful. Take Saxo Bank's predictions for 2023, for instance. They predicted that gold would reach $3,000 an ounce, a clear sign of high inflation and volatility in the treasury market. Now imagine the economic pressure on countries heavily reliant on gold mining or those with gold reserves. This could lead to desperate measures, potentially sparking conflicts. In a similar vein, the bank also predicted a 50% surge in the dollar against the Japanese yen. If this were to happen, Japan might be forced to stabilize its financial system, which could lead to heightened tensions with the US and other economic powers. Then, there's the prediction of at least one country banning all meat production by 2030 as part of aggressive climate policies. This could lead to economic upheaval in countries heavily dependent on livestock farming. not to mention the potential for food shortages and social unrest, which historically have been precursors to conflicts and wars. The bank also foresees the establishment of a new international clearing union with a new reserve asset, the Bancor, by OPEC+, China, and India. This could lead to a significant decrease in USD reserves and potentially destabilize the global economy. Economic instability often breeds political instability, which can be a stepping stone to conflict. Finally, the bank predicts a tax haven ban that could significantly impact private equity. This could lead to a redistribution of wealth and power, causing tensions between nations and possibly leading to conflicts. In a world interconnected by trade and finance, economic tensions can quickly escalate into full-blown conflicts. Technology has revolutionized warfare. Now let's examine how advancements in technology could shape a possible Third World War. In the modern era, the role of technology in warfare has become increasingly significant. Traditional battlefields are being replaced by digital ones, and physical weapons are giving way to more sophisticated, technology-driven warfare tools. Consider artificial intelligence, or AI. This technology has the potential to completely transform warfare. AI can analyze vast amounts of data in real time, predict enemy movements, and even control autonomous weapons. With AI, military strategies can be optimized and decisions can be made at a speed that's beyond human capacity. But it's a double-edged sword. If it falls into the wrong hands, AI could be used to create weapons of unimaginable destruction. Then there are drones. No longer just tools for surveillance, drones have evolved into powerful weapons. They can carry out precision strikes, reducing collateral damage and protecting human lives. But just like AI, drones can also be weaponized by malicious forces, potentially causing devastating damage. And let's not forget about cyber warfare. In the virtual world, battles are no longer fought with bullets and bombs, but with codes and algorithms. Powerful nations can cripple an enemy's infrastructure without firing a single shot, by launching a cyber attack on their power grids, communication networks, and financial systems. This could lead to a new kind of war, one that's silent, yet destructive. But technology isn't just about destruction. It also holds the key to prevention and protection. Advanced early warning systems, powered by AI, can predict potential threats and help avoid conflicts. Cybersecurity measures can protect a nation's critical infrastructure from cyber attacks. And technology can also facilitate diplomatic communication and conflict resolution. So, as we stand on the cusp of a new era, it's clear that technology will play a crucial role in shaping the future of warfare. Whether it's used for destruction or protection, one thing is certain. Technology has the power to change the rules of the game. The next global conflict, if it ever comes, could be unlike anything we've ever seen. So, which country could start the Third World War? As we've journeyed through this discussion, we've uncovered no easy or definitive answers. Instead, we've highlighted the complexity and interconnectedness of the world we live in. We've recognized that the geopolitical chessboard is perpetually in flux, with power dynamics constantly shifting and evolving. We've examined the pivotal role that the economy plays in war, with monetary policies, economic pressures, and the struggle for resources often serving as catalysts for conflict. From the potential for gold reaching $3,000 an ounce due to high inflation, to the potential for an international clearing union, spearheaded by OPEC+, China, and India, these economic shifts could have far-reaching implications. We've also delved into the role of technology, acknowledging how advancements can both prevent and provoke wars. The potential for a coalition of billionaires to create a trillion-dollar Manhattan Project for energy, for instance, could significantly alter the global energy landscape. Yet, despite our deep dive into these factors, the ultimate question remains: which country could start the Third World War? It's a daunting question, one that's impossible to answer with certainty. The reality is that the dynamics at play are so complex and intertwined that predicting such a scenario is akin to predicting the unpredictable. But what we can do, and what we must do, is strive to understand these dynamics. We must remain vigilant, informed, and proactive. We must acknowledge that while conflict is a part of human history, so too is the pursuit of peace. We must not lose sight of our collective capacity for diplomacy, for negotiation, and for mutual understanding. While we hope that a Third World War remains a hypothetical question, it is crucial that we continue to strive for peace and stability in our increasingly interconnected world.